Hi, Nancy.
Hi there.
How are
How are
you?
you? Nice to meet you, Reshma.
You too. I'm going to make you a co-host,
Perfect.
making screen sharing available to all. I did the polls, going to double check that they're available for you.
Oh, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Of course. And I labeled them as you labeled them, poll one and poll two, so it'll be easy to identify. Let,
Simple.
yeah, let me know if you want me to launch that or if you want to launch it. More than happy to assist you.
I prefer if you do.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, and please don't hesitate to remind me. One thing I forget at least once every webinar is to launch a poll.
Okay.
Like that's why I have fewer because it's if I have four polls, I'm going to forget two.
That makes sense.
And sometimes the host is too polite to say, "Excuse me," so please, by all means,
I
just
got you. I got
yeah.
you.
Um,
Um, so your audio is good from my
Audio's good.
end. Yeah.
Is my lighting okay? I'm just tinkering with different lights and stuff.
It's okay on my end. Let me just put up my brightness to ensure I can see. Yeah, it looks good here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not too dark in the background.
No,
No.
no.
Okay. 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 Good. Good. All right. I also have a dog who's
Okay.
may wander in and out, but I figured this is Zoom, so
Yes, it happens.
I think she will be quiet, and if I'm wrong, I'll have to model good Zoom behavior. Like, just a
Yes.
minute, the dog's eating the. No, I hope not, but it happens.
Today I will introduce myself. I will introduce like the workshop and who the presenter is.
Sure.
Um, but can you tell me how to say your last name? Nancy
Ankowitz.
Ankowitz. Okay.
And how do you pronounce? I want to double check on your name also.
Reshma.
Reshma. Oh, so I
Yes.
didn't say it right, did I? I said, okay, Reshma.
Yes.
Okay. And how do you pronounce your last name?
Jaigoban.
Jai Gopin. Okay.
Yes.
But I won't have to say your last name. So there you go. Okay.
So yeah, I will introduce you. I'll just go through some housekeeping on auto captions, encouraging everyone to turn their cameras on because, I like to do that. And then I'll just pass the mic to you. And you can take the floor. Um,
Perfect.
you can feel free to start sharing when I'm done or even during. Either is fine. We have no stipulations on that. And at the end, I will just close out and thank everyone for attending and participating, and we'll be done for the night. How long is the workshop?
I have an accordion. In other words, I planned for 90 minutes. I could
Okay.
do 60. I could go 2 hours. I'm
Hmm.
really in service. So,
Got it. Okay.
I mean, how long do people expect it to be?
So I always say 90 minutes. I
Yeah.
always advertise everything for 90 minutes because if there are technical difficulties, if one of us is late, if people are having a hard time joining,
Ah,
we need to
I
like
see.
figure those things out. Try to build in that 90 minutes. Typically, I think attention span runs about 60 minutes to maybe an hour 15. So
Sure.
I feel like that's like the sweet spot between the introduction, the participation, the content delivery, and then the close in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll keep that in mind then. Do you mind if
Yeah.
I test my screen share?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's see. I'm going to do it as back slides as background, but if it doesn't work, I'll do it. I will do it otherwise. I'll just do more traditionally. And and let me see if I could get that to. Let me go my slideshow. And I sent you an emergency copy of my slides. Did you get that?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
I have
got
it
it.
saved and ready to go.
Okay.
Should you experience anything?
Okay. Am oh, let me open up my other monitor, my emergency monitor. Am I showing the correct version of the slides or the behind the scenes slides? Like, do you?
Right now,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what I'm seeing is a why strong virtual. presented matters. That's what I see. I
Do,
see your PowerPoint.
but do you see the notes or do
No,
you? Oh, no notes. Okay. So you see it the way the audience should see it. In other words, it's clean. There's not the tiles on the left, right?
no tiles. I see the outer shell of the PowerPoint. I see most communication now happens on screen. Presence is your competitive edge.
Oh, wait a second. I don't see that. Whoa. Okay. I see the first page, presentation skills, Zoom with power and presence. You don't see that?
No.
Whoa. What do you see again?
Why strong virtual presenting matters. And then I see some content on that slide. Most communication now happens on screen. And then presence is your competitive
Oh,
edge.
okay, hang on. I'm gonna go back with the arrows. It's always a new adventure with tech, I'll tell you. That's why I'm
Hmm.
a big fan of doing this early. What do you see now?
Same thing.
The slides didn't move?
No.
Okay. So we're gonna forget using me as a and was I in the virtual, like was I in the picture or no?
You were in the picture. I now see your presentation with the student life logo, presentation skills, Zoom with power and presence. Like that's
Okay.
what I just saw.
Okay. So what should have worked didn't work. Hold on, let me get one more. Okay, my screen replugged in. That's why I like tech checks because what's supposed to work often doesn't. Okay, so I'm going to do a very standard screen share. And now you should see the thumbnails, like the behind the scenes slides, correct?
Yes, I see your
Okay.
tiles to my left and your first slide, which is your cover kind of page.
Okay. Now,
Hmm.
slideshow. What do you see?
Nope, nothing.
Nope.
I think what I usually do is that I stop sharing, I do my slideshow, and then I share that slideshow screen.
You stop sharing. Oh, okay. I'll
Yeah.
stop sharing. I'll stop sharing. Okay,
Then
one
hit the
second.
presentation like logo thing at the bottom. And when you
Okay.
share in screen, you should have an option for either the notes section or the presentation itself.
Uh, I'm in slideshow right now,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go use slideshow, but I can't, my Zoom gizmos are hiding. Uh, Let me try the Zoom gizmos from another screen. So it's amazing how this is still challenging, but it is. Okay, I am. Let me try this, and I don't know if I'm doing what you suggested because I don't know. What are you seeing now?
I see your tiles and like you're not in presentation mode, but I see your cursor moving at the bottom as well. And
Okay, so
yeah.
what you were suggesting is stop share, right?
Hmm.
And go into slideshow, correct?
Yes. Hit your slideshow with notes. I assume you're using some notes on the back end for your view only.
Yeah, I have them, but I don't need them. So yeah, yeah.
And then you do a screen share after.
Now let's do a screen share. Okay.
And it should prompt you to select a screen.
Uh-huh.
And you should choose the screen that's already like your slideshow screen.
Slideshow screen.
Are you
Let me
working on a two screen model?
basically three. I have
Three.
a Mac is screen two.
Hmm.
A big screen in front of me is desktop one. You can't see that with glasses. Hold on. And desktop two is pretty clean and it's slideshow. So maybe I should share desktop two. Desktop three is like you and me on Zoom. So I'm going to share desktop two. And tell me if that worked.
I see it in full screen. Can you move to the next slide? Let's see if it
Yeah, let's see.
transitions.
Let's see. Let's see. How's that?
Yes, I see ground rules. Yeah, but you are blocking part of that. So I don't know if you can sh like you
Oh,
are
okay.
projecting right at the bottom.
Okay, hold
Mm,
on. I'm
yeah,
projected on the like lower right or lower left,
left,
lower
left.
left.
So you blocked a part of the ground rules. I don't know if like your slides otherwise seem to be clean at the bottom, which should
I see
help.
what you mean. I see what you
Yeah.
mean from a different view.
Hmm.
And let me see if I can. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to change this. Do, 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 do. Um, did anything change just now?
You're on poll number one currently,
Okay.
but you are
Um,
still in. Now you switch to the far left of my screen.
is that okay?
I think so. If you go through the slides, I'll be able to
Yeah,
tell
let's
you
just
if you're
check. Let's just check.
okay.
Okay.
So the
So,
first slide is good.
okay.
Second slide is good.
Okay.
Third slide, you're covering the
Blocking.
presence of like
Oh,
presence.
that's not okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if it covers anything else because I can
Yeah.
move that text easily.
Yeah.
It
You're covering
covered.
here.
Correct.
I think you can shift that up. You're covering almost everything on that one. This is
Okay.
fine.
You know
Yeah.
what this is telling me? Don't. I'm going to shift this. I'm going to just shift it entirely. Okay. So I'm going to go, I'm content only, desktop two. And now I shouldn't be blocking anything. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
And you're seeing my slides properly. And okay. So let's
I
go back.
see the big idea. Is that what you see currently?
Yes. Yes.
Great.
Perfect.
And I see you in my tile and like my tiles are on the upper right, and so I can shift you around if needed.
And now it was kind of frozen for a moment. So let me go back to the beginning. And I just have to remember that if something blows up, I can just go back to desktop two. Desktop two is
Hmm.
what I'm sharing. That's the clean
Hmm.
version. Again, I don't need my notes, so I don't really care.
Hmm.
Okay. So boom, ground rules. Why strong virtual presenting matters. Pull one. But oh, this is how this helps me not forget the polls. I'll go, hey Reshma, you want to load poll one?
Yes.
Nobody cares. I think nobody cares. Rechannel your jitters, audience first, your voice and instrument, read the virtual room, think on your feet. You can jump in if there's something. Let's see. Virtual visuals. Oh wait, what did I say? Create visuals as
Hmm.
wallpaper. Tech that keeps you confident.
Hmm.
The big idea, pull
Hmm.
two,
Hmm.
and Q&A/discussion, and over and out.
Yep.
And my book's still not out, but any minute. I mean, it's on this thing called Lulu, but nobody's going to have an account on Lulu. So it's as good as not
Right.
out yet. It's just like
Soon.
any minute, supposedly. But I mean, it's technically published, but whatever. But anyhow, so if people want the book, they can. I mean, if you want, what I did with a recent talk for Baruch, for Baruch alumni, is I offered a one pager to follow up if you'd like, rather than share my slides, which are, I don't know, would that
Either works for me, I
either
think.
works? Okay.
Yeah. But I know that some of our students like the slides. I like I think our students with disabilities typically like to go back to the slides.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's there's also a note from one of our students from last semester that, um when it comes to participation, based on like how she describes her disability, she's like, sometimes I feel like presenters need to give like 15 to 30 seconds, like, of silence because,
Oh,
it helps them think. It helps them think through a question if they're going to participate via the chat or out loud,
so tell
just to keep
me.
that in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me more about what this person meant. Meaning, if I call on someone, or meaning between slides or after a main point, or what was the context of what they were suggesting?
It was more about any participatory activities that were involved. Like if there was a question in the chat
Ah,
or a
okay.
question by the presenter, it's like, oh, I'll give you all 30 seconds to kind of mull that over. And we can start
Oh,
participating in the chat or via audio, something like
okay.
that. Yeah,
Got it. Got it. So some people will be more like quick to do it and others
right.
need more time. So in other words, yeah, there's like diversity in how neurodiversity, how we process things, that kind of thing.
Correct. Yeah.
Now you just disappeared.
I
But
am
I
here.
prefer not. No, I know you are, but I prefer to be able to see my audience.
Yeah. And
And I'm not doing slideshow right now, correct? Or I am.
1 second.
It looks like I
I
lost
can't
the
hear
slide.
you.
Oh gosh. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Testing one, two, three. Testing, testing. I don't hear you. The sound blipped. You were in and out.
I'm in and out.
Now you're back. Now you're back.
Okay, great. Yes. So now I can see your presentation again. Now I see your desktop screen, which is like a house, like a view, like in a forest, beach. That's what I see.
Oh gosh. Wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you were just on the presentation, but then it's kind of
Got it.
switched out.
I'm gonna unshare again then because I don't know what happened, but all right, 1 second. I'm gonna just like close out of all my extra windows, which I thought I had done, but I'll close out even more. And hold on, get rid of phone mirroring. It was just strange that I briefly lost view of you, and then you briefly lost my sound.
Yeah, I think my headphones, like I pulled out my headphones slightly, and so that
Ah, okay, got it, got it.
became an issue. So hopefully it works. If not, my sound on the laptop itself is fine.
Okay, got it. All right, hold on. I'm going to share again.
Okay.
Share again. Desktop 2. Okay, it's not on desktop 2 at the moment, but I think it will be. Let's see. It kind of rearranged itself. I don't know why. Am I sharing right now?
You're sharing your desktop screen. Like
The
I see the beach
green.
again. Yeah.
See the beach again. Wow. Okay, that's strange. Hold on. How about now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great. So I
Yes.
don't see you right now, which I find that challenging. I like to be able to see my audience,
Hmm.
and I don't know where it went. And usually it means it's behind somewhere. And now I realize I just got out of desktop view. So here's what I'll do. I will move us, my view and view of you or slash audience onto my faraway screen.
Okay.
And just so I can do a better share. And I take it you're not seeing my slides properly again. Is that correct?
Correct.
Correct. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for your patience.
Of course.
Okay. So I'm going to go use slideshow again. And now you should see my slides properly, correct?
Yes, correct.
Then what I'll do is see my audience out of the corner of my eye on a peripheral screen, which
Yeah.
because otherwise it's like you disappear and I don't like that. So,
Yeah.
okay.
And you'll see if people have raised their hands and stuff like that in that corner.
Oh, yes. So that's a question for you. Are you comfortable jumping in if there's a chat and I miss it? Because it's easy
Yes.
to miss. It's very easy to miss and say, "Hey Nancy, we've got a chat," or "Hey Nancy, did you see that?" Whatever.
Hmm.
Just jump in. I'm
Yes.
totally comfortable. Okay.
Yes. I can definitely do that. I assume you're taking questions throughout.
Yes, welcome.
Okay. I'll let the audience know that they can drop their questions in the chat and you will answer those between slides.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
At any point, or between sentences, between slides, whenever it should work.
Mhm.
And let's see. Yeah. So really anytime. I'm not formal. I like
Got
the
it.
Is there anything more you can tell me about the audience? how many people signed up? And I know people don't show up and all that stuff, but
Right.
anything about the quality of them, the qualities of them, and anything?
Yeah. So our students are adult students. So we may have students who are new to CUNY SBS. So even students who have enrolled in spring are going to be present for this workshop.
Nice.
Um, we had 150 registrants, but as you
Yeah.
know, that tends to have a drop off. Um, we will, so these are students from our program called Visionary Voices. So these students will be presenting, some of them, it's only five. So five of them will be presenting at a conference in March that is completely online. So they're
Oh,
required to attend this workshop to kind of gain the skills.
oh my
Um,
gosh. Oh,
yeah, and then
beautiful.
we have some peer mentors who are also attending. Um, so hopefully, like they also gain some skills here. Not
Oh,
hopefully, most definitely, I'm sure. Um, but as of right, like this morning reminder was sent out, and um and then an evening reminder was sent out at 5:30. So you got the one this morning, and you should have gotten the one this evening. So hopefully those
um, I don't know if I got any actually.
I think you reacted to one.
Did I?
Yeah.
I thought it was a note directly to me. I
Yes,
wasn't.
yes.
Oh,
So it addresses you directly.
oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's we personalize each one. So
Oh, lovely. Okay.
yeah. So students should have received that, and hopefully that helps with the attendance portion. Currently, they're not in our waiting room. They sit in a different waiting room, which I can show you what that looks like actually.
Oh,
Um,
lovely.
let's see here, morning, send a test. And they sit there, and typically Zoom brings them in at the 0 mark.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Tell me more about so Visionary Voices, five people will present at a conference. Do other people who are attending aware of that or attuned to it or anything like that?
No,
No. Okay, it's
other
just the
students are
five.
not aware that
Okay.
there is a conference. We haven't marketed anything yet. We're currently developing the website for it, and everything is almost there. But we can mention it that there's a conference coming up in March, and some of the students in this room will be
Yeah.
participating. So, stay tuned via
Beautiful.
email, social media, etc.
Um, will if I were to welcome them to identify themselves, would you think that would be helpful or of interest?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, they can either raise their hand or drop their name in the chat or say me. Um, any of those things work. Just so you know, I see your Zoom menu bar, like I see the audio video participants like right
Oh,
here.
okay. I'll move it. I'll move it
Yeah,
to another screen. Thank you for telling me.
I don't know
Yeah.
if that was intentional.
No, it's again the multiple screen thing.
Hmm.
It's always an imperfect equation, quite frankly.
Yeah,
Just there's so many moving parts technically, but it's good to know.
yeah. And I know that sometimes if you lean to the side or something, the audio it doesn't cut out, but it does like decrease slightly. So just
Thank
keep
you.
that in mind between our conversation right now. I've noticed depending on where you shift because I think your mic
Absolutely.
um is front and center and like
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. So this is the best place for it, probably, right? And if I go like
Yeah,
this, you lose some of the sound. I got it.
correct.
I
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
no problem.
All right. Anything more you can tell me about the students?
Um Nothing like we don't get any background details on them. Like majority of them are students. There are very few staff that attend any of these. Um, but nothing very specific about their background other than their peer mentors and our Visionary Voices students.
And tell me more visionary voices. What's that about?
Yeah, let me show you what. see. Conference details. So our conference is in March, and it's a student leadership conference.
Oh,
And our students get like a theme or a topic. So our theme is how do you take theories from the classroom and apply them in real work settings?
oh,
So they're supposed to select a theory and do research on it and write about their experience in the workplace
oh,
or
lovely.
how it might apply. So some students are doing work on this person is doing work on the New York City payroll data between 2014 and 2024. So they're analyzing data and kind of seeing what's happening on the back end. This person's talking about how to organize like immigrant storytellers. So looking at immigrant communities and
Oh,
analyzing that and talking about current issues of deportation and ICE raids, etc.
oh God. Yeah.
There's another student who is talking about technology in the healthcare primarily. Um, so like why is there resistance to accept new technology in the healthcare field? Who does it impact, and how can we ensure that, you know, people acclimate easy and the employees are taken into account when technology is introduced. Another student is talking about interpersonal relations to help patients achieve their healthcare goals.
Oh,
And their primary focus is on immigrant communities as well.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this program really pushes them to dive into research, dive into a topic that they love and enjoy. Somebody's talking about disability justice and um, putting it in the context of not just how do we apply the law, but how does humanity come into play when we apply disability justice.
Mm,
Yeah. So they're doing research. They have to attend one of these. They have to do mock presentations with each other.
oh, beautiful.
They meet with me periodically. Um, yeah, these are some small things they do that hopefully gets them prepared for the day of. Um,
And question, are they studying online, in person, or hybrid?
so all 97% of our students, I would say, study online, maybe more.
Okay.
The only in-person program that we have is our theater program, which makes
Oh,
sense.
okay, okay.
Yeah, our applied theater program is the only one that's in person where
Okay,
students need to come on campus.
okay, terrific.
Yeah.
So I hope you don't mind. I'm just going to refresh my beverage
Hmm.
and I'll go offline for a few minutes. Not offline,
Hmm.
mic and video.
Yes.
And
Yeah, I'll also use the restroom, get some
yeah,
water,
all the
prepare.
above. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'll see you
Okay.
back in just a few. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, lovely. Okay, I'm back.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay.
Are we being video recorded? I don't recall.
Yes, we are.
Yes, for internal, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I will be able to get a copy if I'd like.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd love a copy. I
Yeah.
always like a copy. I like to see how I do.
Um, I did ask if we can put it up on our YouTube. So if, oh my, people are joining. Let me
That's
mute.
great.
I'll mute that sound. Not very delightful.
Ah,
But I followed up. You can think about it. There's no need to answer right now, but it's here. If you need it, you need a copy of it. And I haven't marketed that it will be like sent out to anybody. So I just wanted you to know that in advance.
I'm probably fine with it. I doubt I'll have any objection.
Okay,
I do this for a living, so I'd rather reach more people. So I'm happy to do that.
sure.
You have my permission.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you for being sensitive to that.
I know not everybody is comfortable with it, so I like to ask and,
Yeah, definitely.
people to think about it, think about where they are in their career with this type of work.
Sure, sure. Absolutely. I'm really thrilled you reached out to me. It's so nice.
I'm happy to like have stumbled upon like a workshop with you in it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, CUNY means a lot to me. It's an important part of my
Yeah,
life. Um, Baruch for many years now, but now CUNY student life, I'm SPS. I'm just very interested and curious and delighted to be here.
thank you.
Yeah,
So we have about 21 people.
okay,
I'll let them in. Are we
absolutely.
good?
Perfect.
Great.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hi. Hi,
Hi.
everyone. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Zoom wave.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you all for joining us. Hi, everyone. My name is Reshma Jaigoben. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm the Student Development and Leadership Coordinator in the Office of Student Life. And welcome to today's workshop, Presentation Skills, Zoom with Power and Presence, with our presenter, Nancy Ankowitz. Before I pass the floor to Nancy, I'd like to go over a few housekeeping items. So as you know, the session is being recorded. Auto captions are enabled, and you can turn that on or off using your Zoom menu bar. We encourage you to turn your cameras on. I think it would be a great way for us to stay engaged and to get to see what we look like off screen, on screen. I apologize. I ask that you keep your mics muted to minimize any background noise. If you do have any questions, feel free to use the raise your hand feature or drop your questions in the chat, and Nancy will answer those throughout the session. You can feel free to share your own experience in the chat as well, react to other people's comments and questions. We encourage you to be as engaged, be mentally present, and I hope that this presentation is a great skill building activity for you. Now I'll pass it over to Nancy. Nancy, you can take the floor.
Thank you so much, Reshma. And thank you for inviting me. I'm delighted to be here and delighted to see some people on camera. I've asked Reshma, who's kindly agreed to, if I miss any chats, to just chime in because my ability to reach you is, and your ability to reach me is what this is all about, rather than a lecture. It's not a lecture. I have some points to make, some tips, but I'm here for you to share what I have and to hear what you would like to accomplish. So ground rules may sound stern, but really I want to create in this space together on Zoom an environment of respect, inclusion, and Vegas rules, which is anything that's said here stays here. You can just, if anyone shares anything vulnerable, we want to make it safe. So questions in chat, as Reshma mentioned, just bring it on. If I do happen to call on anyone, you can always say pass. I'm not here to embarrass anyone or put anyone on the spot in any way. So why it's important to present and why to be strong online is so important, because this is normal now. Most of us, or I would say none of us here, were born to do this. To see your head in this screen, to see all these little heads in this screen, to be that close to your audience. Nobody here was born into that. This is all relatively new. And I understand most of you are studying online. So you may be used to it, but you weren't born into it. So your ability to be present in this, on this stage, is truly a competitive edge. So whether you're in class, whether you're interviewing for an internship or a job, whether you're giving a presentation, whether you're facilitating a meeting, or even just participating in a meeting, your ability to be comfortable on camera and to project your voice, your facial expressions, your gestures, all of that is essential in building the brand that is you, that's distinct and special and has something to offer the world. Okay? So we're going to kick off with a poll, and Reshma will do a Zoom style poll. You can, so that you can actually participate. This is just the question. What I want to know, and this is my feeling of, I haven't met you other than Reshma. I don't know who you are and what's keeping you up at night, and why did you take your precious time this evening to join? So what's your biggest challenge in virtual presenting? And we can say with presenting, we can say that whole umbrella of giving a presentation, facilitating a Q&A, interviewing online, all that whole bundle. And we'll shorten that as presentation. And I'll count backwards from 5, and I'll count slowly in case I just want to give everybody a chance to answer. I see the answers are coming in. So I'm going to say 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And maybe we give a few more seconds just in case somebody's like fumbling for the keyboard or just thinking about it. Oh, and one thing I should mention, and Reshma, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you can vote for more than one. Is that the way we've set this up?
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. So if you if it's a contest between some of these, you could just pick whatever the sums are, and that'll give us like a nice pulse of who's here. What is the audience thinking? Okay. So Reshma, do you want to end the poll and we'll take a look at the results?
Yeah, Sharon.
Okay. So all right. So would you mind sharing them out loud? I'm seeing them a little peripherally. So would you mind just saying what the
Sure.
results are?
So coming in at number 1 is nerves at 38%. We have
Okay.
keeping people engaged and speaking concisely at 31%. They're both tied.
Okay.
We have
Okay.
tech confidence at 19%. And then we have all of the above at 16%.
Okay. And
Overall, there were 32 participants who participated in the poll, and you and I cannot participate as the
right, of
hosts.
course. Of course.
So yeah, we're just shy of a few people, but it's still good data.
Okay, terrific, terrific. So that says to us that the nerves, no surprise there. Whether I'm teaching this in person or online, nerves is usually the winner. It's that anxiety about instead of coming to an online presentation or an in-person presentation with the idea that I have something special to offer, I have something to say, and I care how it lands with my audience because I want to inform them, educate them, inspire them, prompt them to some sort of action. Instead of that, I'm worried about how they're going to judge me. And that's a lot of where the nerves comes from. So they say the fear of public speaking is up there with the fear of death. Sometimes it's bigger. It's fairly universal, not that everybody feels it, but it's a giant fear. And we'll talk about some things you can do to help navigate that. And another thing about keeping people engaged and keeping people engaged, one way of doing that is actually speaking concisely. So making every word count, making every word have be in service of your audience and your main points. And then when it comes to tech confidence, one of my favorite tools is to line up somebody to help you to prepare, but line up I'm lucky enough that Reshma is she did they did a tech check with me beforehand. And that helps enormously where we're checking the mic, we're checking the screen share, we're checking the video, the lighting, everything's all checked out. And also, if a chat comes and I don't see it, they'll help me. So, to the extent that you do that, it helps. And one thing to always expect is Murphy's Law. If you present enough, you will have every manner of audio problem, video problem, screen share problem, somebody else been making screechy noises. You're on mute. How many times do you hear that in a day? I feel like a day is not complete if I don't hear that. So all of these things, what I wonder is in the chat, which I can't see too well. So anything else that people shared that is a big virtual presentation challenge. And Reshma, if you share anything, if you see anything.
I don't see anything right now. We're
Nothing.
good.
Oh, okay, terrific. So we pretty much summed it up. Okay, great. That gives us a pulse of who's here, why you're here, at least the biggest things. And if you think of anything else, by all means, chime in. So I like to frame this as if you have jitters, it means you care. A few quick tips to help you. And you see a picture of me doing push-ups in 30-degree weather, by the way, outdoors in Manhattan. Okay. Whatever floats your boat. But for me, exercise, physical movement helps get me grounded, helps make me feel alive. And am I going to do that on a Zoom? Probably not. But what I can remember to do is breathe. So I want to encourage you all right now to just take a conscious inhale and exhale. And another one, inhale and exhale. So you'd say, well, if I didn't breathe, I wouldn't be alive. Yes. But what happens when you're nervous is you breathe more shallow and it doesn't support your best voice and it doesn't support your best presentation. So next thing is to ground yourself. There are many things you can do, but one thing I'd like you to do right now is feel your feet on the ground. Cross my legs a lot, but I would say right now, you might be a leg crosser also, but feel both of your feet on the ground if you can. And that literally will help ground you. Some people like to have a stress ball that they're playing with, but if you do so underneath the fold so people don't see it. And also think of connecting to one person at a time as opposed to having this giant cyclops of eyes. So connecting with one person at a time and thinking of your audience as a number of people who are each individual, who each matter. And again, they're not there to judge you. You are there to share, to impart something on them, whether it's knowledge or experience or research, something compelling that might inspire them, and so forth. One of my favorite pieces of research when it comes to jitters is to reframe nervousness as excitement. And pairing that with another piece of research that I think it really resonates with me is to speak to yourself in the second or third person. So instead of saying, I've got this, meaning, let's say a little affirmation for myself. And I welcome you, by the way, in the chat to write any affirmations you can think of. You're about to give an important talk and you want to say something that'll boost you a little bit. Like it might be, I've got this. It might be, I'm going to ace this. It might be just something positive. I see one person said, I am me. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And there's only one you. Beautiful. You've got this. Another person wrote, how long is this Zoom? 60 to 90 minutes. Okay. And all right. So now we're going to take that. I'm just going to take one of this. One person wrote, I am capable of this. So take that message and turn it into the second or third person. So instead of I am capable of this, you are capable of this. Or if your name is Joe, Joe is capable of this. So those two pieces of research combined have helped, I would say, thousands of people that I have taught at university, as well as my private clients, with their online and in-person presentations. So those are powerful things. And I see other things popping up like, another useful thing, one person wrote, people usually don't know if you make a mistake. I couldn't agree more. You're so right. One person wrote, I got this one step at a time. I'm enough. If I wasn't ready, I wouldn't have the opportunity. What is the benefit of changing from I to the you name? One person wrote, excellent question. The way I understand it is it's so personal to say the I voice. It's so personal. And as soon as you shift that to you or your name, it takes you out of it a little bit, just enough distance that it matters, as if some mentor is speaking to you, as opposed to that voice in your head that might be a little bit too, you did this, you did that, if you're anything like me. Okay, so that's an excellent question. Keep bringing them on. Okay, so there's the physical, there's the what you can say to yourself, and we're going to keep moving from there. To the extent that you can learn about your audience, please do. And in a case like this, where I had no way of reaching you in advance and finding things out, I'm running a poll to get a sense. I'm welcoming you to chat to get more of a sense. To the extent when you're speaking to an audience that you can find out what they care about, what they need, and what you want them to do, if anything, that will help and everything else follows. Thoughts on that? Okay, so audience first. I like to think of but just back to the audience for a moment. I like to think of a big Venn diagram. And there's a circle here on the right, that's you, a circle here on the left, that's your audience. And that piece in the middle is what your presentation is. It's that piece in the middle. It's the stuff you care about and they care about. It's boom, hitting that sweet spot. Okay. Your voice is such a powerful instrument. So in terms of reaching your audience, one of my favorite things is to be hydrated. So whenever you're speaking, have a liquid nearby and know what liquid works for you. Is it tea? Is it coffee? Or does coffee give you jitters? Is it warm water? Is it cold water? I usually say avoid alcohol. You want to be your fully present self. It is an instrument. And when we get nervous, what happens to our voices? Feel free to put it in the chat. I also welcome you if you want to do a quick unmute and just chime in. I welcome that too. Somebody said trembles or shaking. I'm assuming that's connected to the voice. And yes, that often happens. And somebody just said, can you get closer to the mic? Oh my gosh, absolutely. Is this any better? Is that better? I'm going to stay really
Yes, you can
close to the
hear.
mic. Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So stumbling over words, stuttering, speeding up when you talk. How do you stop the tennis match on your shoulders while you present? Tennis match on your shoulders. Like this? Is this what we mean? Tennis match? Who wrote that? If you
I
want to
wrote
say,
that. Hi, everybody.
yeah, yeah. Do you
I wrote
pronounce,
that.
is that
Jillian.
Jillian? Jillian?
Yes,
What do you
yes.
mean? Does that mean turn your head like that?
No, not literally. Meaning, am I good enough? Am I doing it correctly? Is this flowing? Like the back and forth. That's what I'm referring
You've,
to.
okay, Jillian, you have earned your spot to be speaking here. That's not debatable. If you're in front of an audience, take that off the table. You've earned your spot here. You know your stuff, or you wouldn't be here. And you can't know everything about everything. You're going to prepare so you know your stuff. And that will come across in your voice. If I see some people said talk fast, start messing up, all those things that can go wrong with your voice. You want to take your time. And one of the most important things is truly slowing down, because most of us, especially when we're nervous, we speed up. And when you slow down, you also enunciate. You're more likely to say every letter of every word and be more clear. And guess what? That gives not only you a chance to process, but your audience. You get those pauses when you get to think, and so do they. It's not just about you. So pausing with purpose is a part of that. I just moved away from my mic. I'm going to move closer again. And remember to be yourself. And it's like the best version of yourself for Zoom. How do you find that out? Zoom or Teams or whatever you use. But how do you find that out? Through recording yourself. It's hard. It's hard to watch yourself. But then you'll see how your voice comes across. Is it clear? Is it slow enough for people to get? And I appreciate the captions option here, by the way. And it's a wonderful tool for some people, whether English, depending on where you are with your English skills, or maybe with auditory challenges. So having captions is a wonderful option. I appreciate that they're enabled for today. And I think it's always a wonderful idea to enable them. So let that warmth and intention come through in your tone. And you can practice different tones of voice. Like if we were to write right now, if we were to write different emotions, go ahead and put that in the chat. What emotions could you think of, whether it's happy and sad or nervous, or go ahead and write some emotions right now. And I'm going to ask for a volunteer, somebody who just wants to try something out. And I understand, thanks to Reshma, that there are 5 students possibly here today who are part of something called Visionary Voices, who will be giving a presentation at a conference. And I welcome anyone to volunteer, and especially one of those 5 students, but anyone is welcome. And I see all these emotions coming up. So do I have a volunteer? And I may not see you. So if you put up your hand and you want to join in, the first voice I hear will be the volunteer. I don't see anyone. Okay. No,
We
no,
have
no
some
takers.
hands, sorry, we have some
Okay.
hands raised. I see Frida.
Okay, Frida. Okay, Frida. Wonderful. So, and well, who's the second one you see? Frida will be first. Okay.
We have Hajir and then Mehreen.
Okay. So Frida and Hajir. We need two right now. So Frida, would you please tell us about something easy for you to talk about, whether it's the weather or food, something about food, your favorite food? And what was the second name, please, again, Rishma?
Hajir.
Hajir. Hajir, would you pick an emotion for Frida? And every once in a while, as Hajir is speaking, jump in and change the emotion. So you might say, excited, okay, and Hajir says something, and then go, okay, now relaxed, and then let Hajir talk a little bit. Okay, now nervous. Okay, so just jump in a few times. And Hajir, are you up for that? Oh,
Yeah.
Frida, I'm sorry,
It's just like
Frida.
the mic, you just keep cutting stuff.
Okay, how's
Getting very
this? How's this?
good.
Okay, good, good. So Frida and Hajir, you up for that?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, go ahead. So Frida,
Yes.
start telling us about something really easy to talk about, weather or food, usually.
All right. Well, my favorite food is bread. There's
Okay.
so many different varieties.
Hajir, you want to pick an emotion?
Excited?
Okay.
I mean, you wouldn't believe if you go to Germany, all the different types of bread you can buy there. It's amazing.
Pick another emotion, Hajir.
Another emotion?
Yeah.
Upset?
One time, I tried to make my own bread and it did not work. It wouldn't rise. I used the right yeast. I have no idea what happened. It was such a disappointment.
Okay. Okay. And Hajir, do you want to be the person who does the emotions now? Who
Sure.
actually talks about food or the weather?
Mm-hmm.
And we had a third volunteer, correct? Is there a third one?
Yes, Mehreen was also had her
Okay.
hand up.
Mavreen, do you want to pick the emotions?
Yes.
Go for it.
Anxious?
Okay, so
It
Hajir.
was very hot today, and I didn't like the weather, and I was not able to go out anywhere. I had a lot of plans, but it was very hot.
Okay, another emotion.
Um, Excited?
Although it was very hot, I actually had a good time in my house. I watched the movies with my kids, and it was very fun.
One more.
Sad, gloomy.
But I still wanted to go out with my kids, and I had a lot of plans.
Okay, beautiful job.
Disappointed.
Okay, oh, you go to one more.
Um, I guess the same way I've said. I'm very disappointed that the weather didn't go as planned. That's it.
Okay, lovely job. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. The idea here is to zero in on different aspects of voice, and one important one is emotion. We often when we're nervous, our voices flatten, they get faster, and when they flatten, we don't have enough warmth and intention in our tone. So this is a reminder to decide what emotion do you want to show? It might have to do with your message. It might have to do with your audience, the timing, many things, but be intentional about that. Any insights you want to share so far about what we've covered regarding voice or other aspects of voice that you're interested in? Okay. All right. I see. Jessica, you put up your hand.
I did. I don't know if you might have thoughts on this, but when it comes to public speaking, something that I've noticed is the expectation of tone and inflection. And oftentimes for neurodivergent students or speakers, they may have challenges with inflection or tone, even if they're great speakers otherwise. So I'm wondering if you have any thoughts on that and making public speaking more accessible in this manner.
Mhm. It's a really important question. I don't have an off the top of my head answer. I welcome. Does anyone else have any thoughts on that?
Shindy has her hand up.
I
Okay,
have some thoughts on it. I took a human
please.
relations class this past semester, and it basically is almost like a blueprint of how to exist in the world in between friends, coworkers, leaders,
Wow.
bosses, and a lot of what the textbook presented, I found myself getting angry about because of my own
Oh,
neurodivergent experience. Because every single time I
oh.
saw like a way of being presented, I was like, yeah, but that's not the way I present. And there's a lot of things that I wouldn't necessarily know on my own. Um, I don't know if there's a solution. I
Hmm.
often think of like presenting and saying I'm on the spectrum or whatever like that, but then I get angry because why do I have to tell you? Why can't I just
Hmm.
exist the way I am? Another
Sure.
solution is definitely education. So in some ways,
Hmm.
in our classes and our assignments, to weave that experience in whatever we write, especially in self-reflective papers, and also to just be unapologetic. And if someone's like, "Oh, you're so rude," people have said that to me because I just like say what's in my head. I don't really know sometimes what yes to say, what not to say. So either people will say, "You're so rude," and I used to feel upset or confused until I learned that that's just how I talk. And then I also started learning like
Hmm.
situations and how to say things, but then I get to pick and choose where I want to work extra hard in being a certain way. Like, what benefit do I get from it? Do I want to employ that? And sometimes I'll tell people, oh,
Hmm.
I'm on the spectrum, depending on the situation. And they'll be like, oh, okay. So it's a really good question. I don't think it has any easy answers,
I
but
it,
definitely.
I think absolutely. I think what you said was so nuanced and deep and personal, and I appreciate your having the vulnerability to share that. And Jessica, for the question, Jessica, would you ask the question, right? And then Harmony has a question. Yeah, go on.
Oh, so I was responding with yes, I was when I asked a question.
What I want to point out before we go to Harmony is I'm really glad we got that question because I didn't know the answer. I have some thoughts about it. I could have shared my first thoughts, but I recoiled a bit saying this is not my area of expertise. Do I know neurodiverse people? Absolutely. Have I worked with them as students with in my classes? Absolutely. But I recoiled a bit and I said, I'm going to use a technique right now, which is ask my audience if somebody else has thoughts. And I feel so grateful that I did and got such thoughtful input. So this is a this is a bigger lesson, I think, which is you can't know everything. I mentioned it before. You're giving a presentation and you can't know everything. And I want to just share some language around that. One thing you could say is, I don't know. Does anyone else know? Another thing you can say, and I'm going to welcome you to put in the chat other tactics as well. See, somebody said great tactic. I don't know if it was about which one, but anyhow, another thing you can say is, my first thoughts are blah, blah, blah. And I'd love to get back to you, or I'll follow up when I speak with somebody I know who's expert on this, or let me do a little research and get back to you. Or terrific question. tell me more. In other words, you're buying a little time. So you're slowing things down. You're buying a little time, and for you to think a little bit and for the audience to think a little bit. So all this stuff is really powerful. You can also ask a question about the question. Tell me more about what you want to know, blah, blah, blah. So this is also a really useful technique if English isn't your first language and you're not fully fluent. So these are lots of things in the mix that I wanted to share that's back completely on topic here. Harmony, you had a quick question before we move on?
Yeah. Good evening. My name is Harmony. Yeah. I just want to be sure that I did not get the question wrong. Because sometimes because, obviously you could tell my accent is very different, right? And sometimes you're trying to deliver a particular presentation. This, this kind of situation actually happened to me. I don't know. Because first, it's happened twice. I was in a gathering. So I wasn't really comprehending, I wasn't really connecting with the speaker, you know. Then I realized that their mode of communication style is different, especially when I first moved here. So the way they approach and the way they deliver certain way is far different, even though it's still the same thing. It's different from where I come from. So and I know I do many workshops sometimes. Some of the skills that I apply is to like practice some cultural skills, especially when you get to know the diverse population you want to speak with. You need to really um, do some research in that area. Make sure you understand the way they communicate and the way you communicate. It's not about trying to impress. Just like you said, just try in your own possible best way to be adaptive and also inclusive to your best of knowledge,
Thank you for sharing
including
that,
just
Harmony.
and
Oh,
then yeah. Thank you.
I really appreciate that. It's saying we're from different cultures, from different countries, that we express ourselves in different ways. One thing that often hits me is in a US business context. I have a background in Wall Street and complex, I've changed careers a number of times, but in a US business context, less is more, fewer words, whether it's out loud or in writing. And that comes as a shock to people from many other different cultures, different countries, and it's different. So learning how people are different in many different ways, whether it's the neurodiversity or cultural diversity, it's important. It's important. Jessica, did you have another quick question before we move on?
It was just a quick comment. I just wanted to express my gratitude to Shandy for sharing their personal experiences. I am also on the spectrum, and in my own conference presentations, I've had faced that challenge of engaging with the audience and also just having a higher performative masking as a result of the discourse. And so I'm navigating the kind of speaker I want to be through workshops and programs like Visionary Voices. And I think this is an opportunity for all of us to consider how we can make public speaking more inclusive for neurodivergent speakers and how we can also deconstruct tools or strategies that are exclusive. So I just wanted to share that comment before we moved on.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Are you one of the visionary voice speakers?
I am.
Voices speakers? Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. I hope you don't mind if I call on you for something at some point. Is that okay?
Sure. Thank
Okay,
you.
since you're one of the speakers. Okay, terrific, terrific. Okay, so moving on from here. So this is really tied in. So reading the virtual room. How do we do that? I want your thoughts. I want your thoughts. How do you read the virtual room? And I'm so grateful. We have a lot of people on camera today. A lot of times I present and people just are off camera. It's talking into a little black box. But how do you read the virtual room? How have you seen it done well? How have you seen it done not so well? Thoughts? One tip I have, and I welcome you to think about it, to share, chat, jump in, unmute. But one thing is think about people as like their faces, they're actual human beings. They're not just boxes, even though we have all these boxes. Asking and welcoming questions, paraphrasing to make sure that your audience hears you and that you're not misinterpreting anything or giving people a chance. Welcoming. I see people are doing like this audience is so participatory, and I see people are sending people hearts and flowers, so to speak, when you agree with a speaker with another participant, which is lovely. So I'm seeing in the chat, one person wrote, it's scrolling because okay, so I see great icebreakers in the virtual setting. The body language is very important. Person who said icebreakers, is there anything you want to share about a favorite one you've seen? Only if you feel like it.
Sure. So I work for the Department of Education, and when we have to do virtual meetings, at least for my department, the facilitator, she makes it her business to have tons of engagement. So she starts off with an icebreaker using either like a Kahoot or other things, or and if she after the icebreaker, we typically we're learning something, and then we do like a soft learning check with the same Kahoot. So it's like we're not jumping in and out of different things. We're using the same code, different questions, and at the end is just like, oh, I've feel like I've won something just to be knowledgeable about like things that work.
Wonderful. And for those who don't know what Kahoot is, it's an online gamifying. What do you call that? Like a quiz. I don't know how to explain it. Do you? In a
It
word or
definitely
two?
helps with like team building.
Team building. Okay. It's a you could what is it? KAHOOT, I think. Uh, in case people want to look it up. Okay, great. Somebody said start and end in a personal manner of communication or activity, checking in with the audience. Okay, so I'm going to bring this to, we're going to do a little, no, actually, no, we're good. I want to read more. Survey game, Kahoot, right? People, that's the right spelling. Checking in with the audience. Okay. A number of people have said they like Kahoot. Often people forget to speak to the screen, eyes wander. Okay, so why don't we do something right now? When you're speaking, where do you look? Where do you look? Online. Where do you look? Do you look at yourself? Do you look at the little boxes? Do you look, somebody said below the camera. Ooh, that's really good. Often people forget to speak on the screen, eyes wander. Yep, yep, yep. At myself, 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 myself. Okay, to the screen, at the camera. Okay. There's not one right answer here. And I look at the moderator and self, camera, both at the presentation slides. Okay, okay. So right now I'm looking where? Where do you think I'm looking? I can't see your chats right now. Somebody unmute and tell me where you're looking, where I'm looking.
Camera.
Camera. Straight on. And somebody said right below the camera. Now I'm looking right below the camera. Better or worse? Above the camera, below the camera. Which is better? Above the camera, below the camera.
Straight at the camera, not
Right at
above,
the
not
camera.
below. Yeah.
Right at. I'm looking at it. One of my favorite tips. Oh, one of my favorite tips is a false eyelash I put above the camera. It reminds you to look to make eye contact with the camera. So if you have a
Nancy, can you show how you where you're can you show if you're looking at, let's say, the presentation or if you're looking at the people, what it looks like?
okay, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Right now, straight at the camera. Right now, my slides. I have multiple screens, but I'm gonna simulate. Right now, I'm looking at all of you.
Nancy, I see a hand.
Please go
Talia,
for it.
am I saying your name correctly? If not, please correct me.
Please.
Hi, my name is actually pronounced Talaya. Um, what I wanted to comment on is like I'm a person who also wears glasses. I'm not wearing them right now, but well,
Sure.
they're right here.
Sure.
But I know like when it comes to like looking directly at the camera, there's usually like a little light that's going straight towards my eye. So I usually look on the side. That's for majority of this. So I'm like, okay, I'm looking on the side, I'm looking at myself, and I'm also looking at the slide. And I know that Zoom has a feature where you can change the placement of like each box of who do you see here. It's very interesting.
Okay. There are a lot of little gizmos to play with offline. Absolutely. Thank you for pointing that out. And thank you for mentioning that you're an eyeglass wearer also. Eyeglasses have their own challenges. Glare. I can't tell, but I can't tell if there's much glare right now. It's very hard to like tweaking the lights and all that. Let's talk lights for a minute. And we'll get back to eye contact in a moment. Lights in front of you, behind you, to your sides, all the above, none of the above. What do we do with lights?
I think both sides, maybe.
Both sides is nice. Yeah, both sides is nice. What if it's just behind you? What happens?
Creates a shadow, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. So if you only have one light in front of you, if you have a couple of lights on the sides, if you have more than that, you could have one a little to the back, but mainly you want to be front lit. And it can get a little challenging if you have window light mixed with regular light with artificial light. So you need to, this is why you want to show up early and do a tech check and see how you look. Back to eye contact. What I recommend is looking into the camera when you're mainly speaking. But when you need to interact with your audience in a way like you're looking at their chats or you want to see their facial expressions, then you look at them. So during a Q&A, you're going to go back and forth. And right now we're doing a lot of Q&A, but I see a hand from, I'm afraid to mispronounce your names. You'll correct me. Jenna?
Close enough. Thank you. It's Janaea.
Janaea. Okay, there you go. There you go.
I
What's
just
your
wanted to
question?
talk to your statement about lighting. I've had this issue with work with making presentations. It's something I do quite often, and I actually requested a light. And the reason is because when you have darker skin tones, sometimes the cameras on our um, computers or laptops, they don't necessarily, like, we don't show up the same way.
Oh,
Um, and so I've had to ask for that. It's funny to call it accommodation, but lighting is a huge deal. And it can
sure.
really, it could really help how you're presenting. So I just wanted to kind of, I don't know if it's a question, but it's just more like a call out that sometimes we have to do what works best for who we are as individuals. So if that means that we need to like add an additional light than what Zoom provides, then don't be afraid to do that or ask for it if you need to.
Thank you for raising my awareness of that. Thank you for sharing it with others. I think another thing to consider is your backdrop. And your backdrop, if you do an artificial that or virtual backdrop, will change depending on your lighting and will change how you show up. And you can have a lighter colored backdrop or darker color backdrop, and all these things matter and are things to consider. And one person wrote, a lot of cameras were produced primarily for lighter skin tones in mind. Oh my gosh. Okay. And what happens when you can't maintain eye contact, like look eyeball to eyeball? Well, you often can't, but I think your connection with your audience is your ability to make it appear like you have eye contact. So it's a little Hollywood, you know, it's not real because you're looking at a camera lens, which is totally fake, but I think it helps you with your presence. Okay.
We have some hands as well.
Okay.
Talea, did I say that correctly the second time?
Okay. Please go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to add something with like lighting
Okay,
because
please.
when it comes
Please.
to lighting, sometimes it can also like irritate my eyes since I have astigmatism in both.
Sure.
So I like to use dimmed lighting like a little
Oh,
bit
sure.
to where they can
Okay.
see me, but then also I would have like the brightness on my computer be like halfway so it's not too bright either.
Good point. Monitor light is in the mix. It's something to consider. So thank you for mentioning that. You're right. And I keep eye drops by my monitor for exactly the reason that you mentioned, that all this staring at bright stuff, and there is a lot of staring, it can dry out your eyes. So it's something to consider. Kelly, see, is Kelly next or? Yeah. Okay. Kelly.
Hi, how are you?
Okay. Good. Hi. Nice
Can
to
you
meet
hear me
you.
okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Um, so I don't know how I look like looking at you now, but I have a I'll say I still have a big habit of looking at the box and talking to the box because that feels more natural to what we're used to. So the trick that I came up with is I make a smaller box and I put it
Oh.
just under the camera. And that's what I'm looking at now. I don't know what it looks like because I'm not.
Oh my gosh. I'm turning away from the camera so I can really get a good look. It looks fantastic to me. So what kind of, you're saying like you have a box, meaning are you looking at a
Like,
laptop and you drew a
no, no, no.
box or
I'm on a
what?
desktop.
A
I'm on
desktop.
a desktop,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
I have I have it set to speaker view,
I see.
and it's just a
Okay.
small little box of the speaker right under the camera.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Do people understand? Like, are you following?
That's only for people who have an issue with it, like I did or
Yes.
do.
Okay.
That's
But
just a fix.
I have a question. I just want to make sure I understand it because
Yeah.
maybe somebody else doesn't. So this box is is it built into Zoom or
Yes.
physically how does it manifest?
Yes, it's built into Zoom.
The little green outline?
No, no, it's not a green
No.
outline. No,
No,
it's
no, no,
just
no.
if you think of speaker having it in speaker view,
Yeah, absolutely.
but only thing is you minimize the actual, you know, that view. It's just
Okay.
to fit like a little box under your camera.
Okay. Those with questions will ask you in a private chat or whatever. And
Okay.
another thing to consider is if you're so self-conscious that it distracts you, the hair out of place or whatever, you can mute your view, not show it. And then Janaea, did I say your name again?
Janaea.
Janaea, okay, I agree with you. I was an American Sign Language interpreting student for about a year, and lighting, background, and clothing is very important when it comes to preparing to record my signing. Wow, fantastic. Thank you. I want to shift to another topic right now. I see there's some questions, but I want to make sure we cover this because it's huge and super important. And that we only touched on it, but the idea of thinking on your feet. Not everybody, I'm an introvert. I'm not born into being great at thinking on my feet. I need to think before I speak, as opposed to an extrovert who's really comfortable thinking out loud. That's not me. I've taken improvisation classes to get myself more comfortable in that realm. So in a business environment, when somebody puts me on the spot with a question that's really tough, one of my best friends is pausing. And we talked about pausing in the context of using your voice well, but it's also important for thinking on your feet. So answering simply, rather than trying to give a dissertation on a topic. And again, you can always say, I'll get back to you. Bridging things back to your message as opposed to feeling like you have to necessarily change your whole presentation. And remember that even tough questions are an opportunity for you to connect with your audience versus as a threat or somebody trying to make you look silly or embarrass you. So I see a thumbs up. Okay, cool. Thank you. and one of my favorite lines is, let me think about that and get back to you. So I want to welcome this audience to, or you to, and somebody says like improvising. I'll say that. I'll answer in a minute. What lines can you use when somebody asks you a difficult question? And Jessica, can I put you on the spot?
Sure.
Okay. So, and I see Shandy, you have your hand up. So Shandy, can you ask Jessica a ridiculous question that there's no way Jessica would know the answer to? Ridiculous question.
Okay.
Go for it.
Why are there flying cheeses in the sky?
Oh, that's perfect. I wish I thought of that. That's perfect.
Shani,
Jessica. Yeah.
Shani, I really appreciate your question. I love the opportunity to look into this further. If you like, we can exchange contact information. I can follow up with you after the presentation.
Okay. You commented on the question. You showed enthusiasm. You offered to follow up. What else could you want? Yay, beautiful. Terrific question, terrific answer. And how do I feel about improv? I love it. And I can't stand it. It's both. I love it because it's freeing. It's absolutely liberating to be able to answer any question. Why not? What I shouldn't say I can't stand it. It's more that I do love it. I do love it. What's challenging is learning it and practicing it and being that vulnerable in front of people to make mistakes. But guess what? Mistakes, they're a wonderful part of learning and being human. So I say, take an improv class if you can. It can even be online. And the key principle, does anyone know key principle of improvising? Like one of the most important things that you can learn to say, to do or say when you're improvising.
Repeat the question back or like repeat the thing back?
Oh, that's a wonderful technique. Yes, and so it's yes, and I'm going to say yes, repeat it back, and welcome the question, welcome the concept. Be open to collaborating with your audience. So yes, and it's that energy of yes and. Are you going to agree with everything everyone says? No, you're never going to agree with everybody. And I think it's powerful to create an environment where everybody gets to speak and you disagree and you agree to disagree and you have discussions where there are different viewpoints. That's wonderful. But the yes and is the energy of actively listening, you saying your part, but connecting with other human beings. And it's powerful. World would be a better place if we all did it. How's that? How good is it to ask for clarification on an unexpected question? And I'm being a little random. I don't mean to exclude anyone. I go in and out of seeing the comments. Super important. I think it's wonderful to ask for clarification if you don't know the answer. I see another question. Shandy? Did I say your name right? Shandy?
It's not so much a question, but something that I do when someone asks me a question that I either don't know or need to think about. Sometimes I'll do it right then and there. I'll say something like, that's a really good question. Let me think about that for a minute.
Yeah.
So it gives me a pause.
Yep.
And if I don't have an answer, then I say, actually, I don't know. I would have to like blah, 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 blah.
So you bought yourself time. You commented on the question. You showed an open mind or curiosity. So I say that's a lovely formula. So thank you for sharing that. quick tips on creating visuals. I say when your slides are your wallpaper, they are not your presentation. You are your presentation. To that end, big fonts, and that's also more accessible for more people. Fewer ideas per slide, one, but fewer. Clean visuals, not a lot of jumble, and plenty of white space. It gives everybody space to breathe. And we've all seen presentations, we've all seen slide decks that are just too much. If you have a lot of complexity, you can share it afterwards. You can do it as a pre-read, but let you be the presentation, not your slides. Let's see. Also darker or deeper backgrounds and color. I wonder what the context of that is. So,
Well, like if someone is easy time reading, usually like a lighter color background, especially if it's white lettering or even black lettering, it's harder to see.
Okay. One thing I know is I know Microsoft has a product that allows you to check for accessibility with your visuals. I'm sure there are a lot of other products out there. I'm just throwing it out there. But I know, like, when I see slides where there are little beige text on a brown background, I'm like, I can't see that. So having a lot of contrast is usually a good idea, whether it's black on white, white on black, but not colors that are close to each other. Okay. So tech that keeps you confident. Take a look at these tips and let's build on them or question. And somebody said, I personally recommend Web Aim for color contrast checks. Oh, thank you. It's another tool. Terrific. Terrific. Any thoughts on what I've shared on this slide? One of my favorites is we talked about lighting, but raising the camera. If your camera is on in your laptop, with my NYU grad students, most of them are looking at a laptop. So, once in a while, somebody has a desktop camera, a desktop computer, and they have an external camera, which I highly recommend if it works for your budget and whatnot. But if you have a laptop, which a lot of people do, it's just raising it so that you're looking at it eye level. Usually it's a few books or something. And then there's my little eyelash trick in case you have a false eyelash hanging around, and that's an external camera that you could use. And why wired audio? Why does that matter? Why do I recommend having wired audio? It's not always possible, but when you can, if you have a major presentation, you're doing this visionary voices and you have a big presentation or something like that. And why is wired audio a nice option?
Is it for better sound?
Yeah. 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 Less flaky. And close apps to protect bandwidth can help. Depends. A lot of this depends. But creating a backup plan is super important. Today, I shared my slides with Reshma beforehand. I said, look, if all else fails, you have my slides. But to the extent that you plan for tech things to break in the middle, before, better sound closer to the mouth. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you for reminding me. Today, the sound is extra challenging. So thank you. I am holding it as close as possible so that you can move the mic closer if necessary. Yes, absolutely. I'm holding it really close. And by the way, I will show you, I have other mic options and you'll tell me if this is better or worse.
You sound fine. I was just saying that's another reason to have a mic, so you can move it closer if you need to.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, you just got my second mic and now I'll show you just so you hear it. This is my computer mic. Better or worse?
That's worse, definitely.
Worse. Yeah, better or worse. Okay. Because I speak for a living, I invested in an external mic, $60-ish. But I think for most purposes, the mic in your laptop should be fine if that's what you're using. Using your phone as a backup or dial in is fine. Yeah. Okay. Right. An emergency hotspot from your phone can be used super helpful many times. Okay. Big idea today. Remember to target to your audience, tailor your message, listen to your audience, connect with them in advance if you can. Be as intentional as possible. I want to do a quick fun thing. We're not going to go on too much longer, but we do have until 7:30 Eastern if we need it. Okay. Yes. So why don't we, when you're online, what do you do with your hands? What do you do with your hands? Now I'm looking over at you. I see a person waving them.
Are you asking when we're presenting
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
oh,
When you're
okay.
presenting, what do you do with them? Yeah.
So that's actually perfect because like I'm talking right now as I present, I use a lot of hands. I talk with my hands a lot.
Okay.
And I had a presentation earlier today for work,
Okay.
which was a town hall. And I realized, I cognitively realized I was using my hands a lot. So then I simply just went ahead and put them on my lap and started talking a little bit more with less animation and less hands, but a very chronic problem of utilizing my hands when I speak.
Ah, I would like to reframe the chronic problem as possibly an asset. Okay.
Okay.
What do we just play with this idea? Tiffany, yes?
hmm
Okay. So, Tiffany, can you just do a quick self introduction with some gestures, intentional gestures?
So, hi everyone. My name is Tiffany Sobers. I am part of the Urban Male Scholars program. So, I am a mentor here. I'm returning for the second semester as a mentor. I work for a secure logistics company on my day to day, and I am a business major for at CUNY SPS.
I like the gestures personally. I
Okay.
think they give personality to your presentation. If you sit on your hands, we're missing
hmm
part of you.
Okay.
Why not use them?
Fair enough. I just feel like sometimes I come off as so animated because I get really excited when I speak. So
Oh,
I try to, you know, cognitively tone it down sometimes in the middle of it. But maybe you're right. Maybe I just got to show up my authentic self instead.
I think they look natural on you. That
Okay.
looks like the way you express yourself. In fact, studies have shown that speakers are more convincing when they gesture.
Okay. I
So I'll take
definitely,
it. How about you?
yeah, I definitely will continue being myself then.
And somebody wrote, be the presentation, not the slide. Yeah, totally agreed. Body language speaks volumes. Agreed.
hmm
Agreed. Terrific point. Yeah. And one person wrote, love the hands, show you're engaged and excited about what you're saying. I think that whole thing about don't use your hands is, I don't know who came up with that. There are cultural differences in gestures. And I'd say do you do you
hmm
I,
hmm
I yeah the
Okay.
one the one thing is see yourself on recording, and I like to be somewhere between an orchestra conductor and a mummy. But
Okay.
see how you come across, and are you doing anything distracting?
hmm
My own preference is to keep gestures more open as opposed to closed. So and not fidgety. So, not touching your face or your hair. I mean, if your nose itches, you scratch it for a moment. But
hmm
in general, to keep them open, to keep them varied. So, you're not being a flight attendant with pointing to the overhead compartments, and
hmm
make them natural. And what I saw, Tiffany, was completely natural. It was just, I wouldn't question it. So,
Okay.
sitting on your hands, you're robbing yourself of part of your message. That's my thought.
Fair enough. Thank you.
And Harmony wrote, hand gestures are good. Don't just overdo them. Okay. And overdoing may be in the eye of the, I don't know. I'm not sure. As long as they're not to distraction. That's my feeling. As long as they're not to distraction. Shandy, do you have a question?
No, I was just going to comment. I think that the whole judgment about hand gestures might be an outdated one.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel that way too. I feel that way too. And when you're in, it's easier online to use gestures, but here's a tip. And we can load this poll while we're discussing things. So yeah, thank you, Reshma. So one thing about gestures, I'm going to welcome everybody to participate right now. Let's all try right now to gesture within the frame. So here's outside the frame. Here's outside the frame. Here's in the frame. And if you're sitting, oh, I moved too far from my mic. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So let's keep it in the frame. Keep it in the frame. Okay. And if you're sitting really close, the frame is a lot smaller. So everybody right now, let's do a one-handed gesture. Like, hi, my name is, hi, just one-handed. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And now let's do a two-handed gesture. Two-handed. Yeah. But just remember, keep them in the frame. Otherwise, they're down here dancing around. Okay. And now let's just go creative a little bit with gestures. And I'll call on you. And if you don't want to do it, just like pass, whatever. I don't care. But I want to see, I want to welcome you to each try a different gesture, whatever you want, just try something. So Shandy, you want to show us some sort of gesture that you just creative, funny, whatever, anything you want. Whoa, nice, nice. And Reshma, why don't you want to try one?
Sorry, I was typing in the chat. What are we doing?
Oh, that's okay. We'll keep going. We'll keep going. Simande, did I say your name right? Throw in a gesture. Oh, okay, you're off. You're off. Okay, Lashandra, gesture. Oh, nice, nice. Okay, all right. And Marcia. Woohoo! Okay, the Zoom wave. Okay, or your version of it. And Frederic. Wow. Okay, that had like a distinct personality. Nice, Jessica.
I'll pass, please.
Pass is good. I don't remember how to Talaya. Woohoo! Okay, all right. I don't know if you meant to say 1 minute but that is a gesture. Oh no. Okay, got it. Okay, Reina. All right, nice. I see Turkan. Oh, nice. Okay. Hajir. Oh, lovely. Tiffany. Again. Woohoo! Hey, Carla. Okay. And Reshma, I'm going to come back to you because I didn't mean to exclude you. So, Pierre. Whoa, nice. Alexandra. Woo, all right. Marine. All right, thumbs up. Kelly. Whoa, all right. I may be losing track of, let's see, Petra. Wait, oh, nice. Nobody's done that. Yada, and please, anyone, if I mispronounce your name, please unmute and correct me. All right, and Shikya. Okay, I don't see one. And then Reshma, you have a gesture you want to show us? Reshma, sorry. All right, cool. Let's go to the poll. So as a result of this presentation, we've done some nonverbal, some verbal, how to handle jitters, all kinds of stuff. And there's a giant universe we could cover, and we had a short amount of time. We can still stick around for some more questions if you have them. It's been just a wonderful audience. I am so stoked, really love working with you. So you don't see the poll. Oh no. Try again. Reload.
I just ended it. It was on for like about 5 minutes.
Okay. All right. So for anyone who didn't see it, you can write your answers in the chat if you're okay with not being anonymous. So what will you focus on next as a result, and this is also on my slide, as a result of today's program, to become a more confident, better presenter? What will you focus on next? One person wrote A and D, stronger openings and reading the room. Okay. One person wrote 4, which is slide clarity. Lovely. Okay. And another person wrote C, handling jitters. D, reading the room, vocal presence and jitters. Slow down. Okay. So let's look at the official. You can keep chatting. That's fine. Somebody wrote all. Okay. So Reshma, would you mind sharing the official results if you haven't done so? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's shared,
It's
but I
shared.
can read them aloud. So at
Okay.
52%, we have vocal presence. 35% tied at stronger openings and tech confidence.
Okay.
32% tied at handling jitters and slide clarity. And then at 29%, we have reading the room.
Beautiful. So the biggest one is vocal presence. So let me give you another vocal presence tip, since that's what you want to focus on next. We talked about hydrating, another important thing for vocal presence. Do you have a book nearby? Do you have a book? Do something silly right now. We could share, stop sharing, whatever, because it's blocking my view. I'm just gonna, whoop. You have a book, put it on your head. Why do we have a book on our heads? Oops, why do we have a book on our heads? For those who have a book, preferably not an ebook, it could crash. But any ideas why we would do this? What does it do for your voice when you sit up straight?
Posture.
Say again, I couldn't hear too well.
Posture.
Posture. Good posture and hydration support your best voice.
Confidence.
Confidence. Help you project confidence. So whether or not you have a book nearby, remembering to sit up straight, possibly lean forward a little bit to show interest in your audience, that will help enhance your presence online. Really important. So that posture, even without the book, it's sitting up, lining your spine as if there's a string, somebody's pulling, you're pulling, lining that spine beautifully will support your best voice.
That we're giving to ICE. That's why I wrote the.
I hear somebody else piping in. Was that intentional? I don't think so. Okay. All right. Another thing that helps with your presence that we haven't talked about is your facial expression. You're in this box, and what would be a useful facial expression that you can use for a lot of presentations and interviews and online meetings? Any thoughts?
A smile.
Yeah, pretty universal, and it works. And somebody else reminded us about breathing. Speaking of breathing, where should it come from? Your lungs. Okay.
Your diaphragm.
Your diaphragm. Who said that? Marcia.
Yes.
Do you remember where your diaphragm is? Can you tell us?
Yes, it's right below your rib cage.
I think it's the second biggest, somebody can Google it, organ in your body. It's all the way around your body. So often when we say breathe, we all goes, but it's a really big organ. And so it's expanding your lungs all the way around, in front and back, to the side, and it feels wonderful. We often forget to do it on a daily basis, to just that's why I asked you before, intentionally breathe, inhale, exhale. And that'll also remind you to look into your audience, look into the camera, smile. And smiling is contagious. And somebody wrote vocal and facial expression are really important. I agree. They both convey emotion and connection. Hold attention and clarify your message. Beautiful. Okay. Wow, such a thoughtful audience. All right. So before we wrap, we covered a lot again, but here are some thoughts for you to think about and some tips. And if you have any additional questions, I welcome them. I see one hand up and another hand up and another hand up. So I am not sure I saw them in the right order. And Reshma, did you see whose hand went
Hi.
up?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
Amela. I hope I'm saying your name right.
Mela? Okay.
Yes. Hello. Good
Hi.
evening. My name is Amala.
Amala.
I'm having some problems with my Zoom. I apologize. Um, so my thing is, I have a presentation that I present to different groups of people. And next month I have a very big, important meeting. Um, and when I say that, I mean it's with some government officials. And I have this issue sometimes where when I'm speaking in my book club or in my writing club, sometimes people like to talk over me, and because they're more experienced and whatever, but still I find it very rude. So what kind of advice do you have for someone when they feel entitled to just cut me off? Like, let's say, for example, you're doing this speech and you say in the introduction, like, we'll save the questions for the end of the presentation or speech. And then, suddenly someone in the room is just talking over you because they
Sure.
feel that like their qualifications give them the right to
Sure.
overstep you.
Sure. I've been interrupted. How many people here have been interrupted? Show of hands. It's a common problem. So I think having a few lines up your sleeve is helpful. And having, I think, equanimity in your voice, as opposed to sounding insulted or anything like that, is just saying, excuse me, I'd like to finish. And feel free to put in the chat other lines like that. Or just a moment, I was saying something like that. But I think a neutral statement to get back the mic, basically. And so also practicing before you're in the situation, that is a fantastic idea. And I would highly recommend for you to pair up with somebody and practice. Yes. Or even a few classmates and practice. Can you please wait before sharing your thoughts? I love it. It's being respectful, no matter how you feel you're being treated. It's being respectful, neutral in your voice. And yes, absolutely. Yes. Terrific. Next question in the interest of time. Reshma, who is next, if you know?
Yeah, Talea?
Hi, y'all. So I wanted to pose a question because I myself have very like tense shoulders
Ah.
for the most part, like very, like naturally very tense shoulders.
Sure.
So I was wondering if you can offer any advice on how to like tend to like lower the shoulders or like make it less tense when it comes to like presenting and such, because that's like a very random habit.
Yeah. I'm a 10 shoulder person too. Why don't we all put our shoulders up? 1, 2, 3. Put your shoulders to your ears, to your ears, to your ears, and then drop them. I think just practicing that before you go on, it'll just taking a few deep breaths and just doing that. I think it's a wonderful. I'm glad you pointed that out because a lot of people have tense shoulders and necks. Yeah. Thank you.
Frida?
Yes, I was just wondering if you could briefly speak to how close or how far we should be away from the screen, sort of how much of us should take up the screen.
I don't think there's a real should here, but I think I'd like some space above your head. I don't want you don't want your chin to be touching the bottom of the screen. So a little space here. I think it's more expressive to show some shoulders. And then you also have room to do your gestures. So I think I'm looking at the Zoom room right now. I'm just checking people. I think most of you are fairly well framed. If your head is at the bottom, I would say consider having, showing your shoulders more. Again, it's more expressive. Yeah. Another question?
Priscilla?
I just want to say that there is a parent club at CUNY SPS. Anyone is welcome, and at that club you get a chance to present and express yourself. There is a podcast kind of setting where you ask questions, they ask you questions. If anyone is a parent here, I know this is an advertisement for my club. If anyone is a parent here, please come join the parent club, and so you can get a chance to ask questions, be asked questions, and present.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Maureen?
Hi. So my question is that for my technical presentation, I mostly prepare a script. And by any chance, if I am not following it, I get confused. Like if I'm not following the script, how to overcome this situation, especially for the technical presentations.
If you need a script for a technical presentation, go for it. But practice being on script and record yourself to see how you've done. A lot of my clients, a lot of my grad students prefer just having a few bullets because you're usually presenting about something you really know. So just a few bullets, and then you're speaking fluently about your topic, as opposed to when you're on script. If all of a sudden you lose your line or you lose your place, you really can get thrown. So it's a delicate balance. If you are going to use a script, though, you might consider a teleprompter. There's a lot of free teleprompters online where you can scroll it at your own pace by hitting your keyboard kind of thing. So there are options. Hope that helps.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other
Shindy?
questions? No?
Not a question, but I recently took a workshop with The Moth. It's like a storytelling
Oh,
organization,
yeah. Wonderful.
and also presented like my story on stage. And one of the biggest fears that I had was, what if I forget what I want to say, because I have a very bad memory. And one tip that they gave was, if you forget, like in the sequence of when you're talking, you can always go back and say, one thing I forgot to mention.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. And this ties back. Somebody said this much earlier on, which was fantastic, which is people usually don't realize when you make a mistake. You don't even need to say one thing I meant to mention. You could if you want to, but you could also just say, I want to add, and say it in a confident voice, and nobody would know the difference in most cases. Yeah.
Nancy,
I
there's
guess,
a question in the chat
please.
about
Sure.
would you recommend using note cards?
I like post-its or like stickums for your if you're using a computer and having a few stickums nearby. One might be for notes like slow down or breathe or use your hands if in the frame or whatever, or it might be for your three top key points. So you might want to have post-its. Note cards are a little fiddly. They might be hard to use when you're online. In person, sure. Why not? Absolutely. Hope that answers your question. And then there's also the notes features of various things like PowerPoint or Google Slides. And you can play with that as well. Sure. Any other questions? Caesar, I truly am so grateful for this audience for such thoughtful questions and comments. Really, this is on a deeper level for what you would expect for a quick webinar on online presentations. Thank you for that.
I don't see any additional questions in the chat and no additional hands raised.
Okay. Well then, coming soon. This is the only copy I have of my book. So this is any day now. It should be more broadly available, and it has a lot of the tips we discussed today. If you're interested, it's a pretty skinny book. So I wrote it based on my many years of working with students and clients, and now online to make this more accessible and fun. And I do want to say fun. Thank you for the title compliment. Thank you. I said, I'm glad I said, there are many of you, myself included, we all say, and I'll add one more tip, which is if you say, like most of us, keep it to no more than one a minute. If you're not sure, record yourself, count how many times you say, or and get it down to one per minute. More than that becomes distracting. So it's a way of slowing yourself down for enunciation, giving yourself time to think, giving your audience time to think, but also presenting your best voice, supporting your best message online. And that's what this is all about. I welcome any follow-up questions afterwards. I said that. And I really wish you joyous presentations online. You've got this. Your name has this. You don't need to use the I voice, just recapping a little bit. And really enjoy the process of connecting with your audience and sharing the gems that you have to offer them. Okay, so thank you. Thank you again, Reshma.
Thank you so much, Nancy, and thank you everyone who stayed. I hope that this presentation is a small step, but I hope it was valuable to you in whatever you do next when it comes to presenting online. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy your evening. Stay warm this weekend. Stock up on, everything that you need, and I'll see you all hopefully online soon. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
I think you're right.
Thank you. Bye.